What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me here on Travel Tips Tuesday. If you are here and you are live, please feel free to holler at me in the comments and let me know that you are here because I want to make sure this is coming through all right. As we're constantly shaking around, pardon the mess in the back, but it's real life office stuff. I think some of my kids have been in here recently messing around with things, including stealing things from the printer. But anyway, welcome to Travel Tips Tuesday. Tonight, it is April the 8th, 2025. I'm very glad to have you on the show tonight. We're going to get back to our roots tonight here on Travel Tips Tuesday. We've been talking about cruising for a little bit. I posted some things recently about Sandals Royal Bahamian and Sandals Resorts after a site visit, which I'll dabble in that. We may do a whole episode on that coming up here pretty soon. Did a resort tour there. I also posted a completely not, I filmed it while I was on site, but I was not able to do it live because of like internet connection issues. But I did shoot it and I uploaded it to LinkedIn, my LinkedIn page, the Travel Tips Tuesday YouTube page. That does exist. If you're listening to this live for the first time, please go on YouTube and search Travel Tips Tuesday. Look for the old logo, this guy in the upper right-hand corner there, and you'll know that you found the right spot. But please make sure to subscribe there. But check out the Sandals Royal Bahamian Island Tour. It's a quiet Bahamian morning. A little overcast outside, but very relaxing and a fantastic place to go and unplug. It's also on my TikTok page as well, on the TikToks, as the kids say. I don't really know if the kids say it, but maybe they do. I'm not sure. Anyway, our topic for tonight is this: top tips for your first time at Walt Disney World. So in the month of April with Travelmation, our kind of main focus as an agency is celebrating all things Disney destination. So Walt Disney World, Disneyland, all the other Disney parks around the world, Disney Cruise Line, Adventures by Disney, Aulani, all the different things that Disney does. And I wanted to take a second to get directly back to that. Obviously, this podcast started kind of as a social media challenge of sorts, literally with my laptop on my kitchen table shining up. You could probably see my nose here. The lighting was awful. The audio was awful. Like there's very little production value to it at all. I was doing it straight from Facebook, was not going to multiple platforms or anything like that. But I did it because I have this sort of really deep desire to want to help prepare people for a visit to Disney parks, especially first timers. So that's one of the reasons why we're getting back to this, in addition to kind of having a monthly focus for Travelmation in and of itself. So I've got a long list. Like there are a lot of things, a lot of very helpful tips that other travel advisors have dropped in the comments. And a lot of things that I've just made lists. I thought, like, for fun, I'm like, I'm gonna go to Chat GPT, like, just for the heck of it, and see. And it posted, like, it replied back with like a bunch of different things, and I'm like, okay, great. But the things that I have, I'm kind of pointing to my other screen here, that I'm going to share with you guys tonight, will hopefully be helpful for you. If you've never been, if you're thinking about a trip, if you are, even if you're a travel advisor and you're working with first time clients, I absolutely love working with first time clients to Walt Disney World. It is one of my favorite group of clients to work with, just because there's an extra sort of sense of magic about it. So, this is our question of the day. This is our topic. I would love to know if you have any top tips for Walt Disney World. If you definitely have any, if you have any tips for Walt Disney World, to make sure to drop those in there. So I'm actually going to go ahead and put that in the comments as we're chatting along here, or in a quote below. Sorry, my microphone's like all over the place tonight. This is awesome. So, hang on just a second. Normally I don't do this kind of stuff, but we're going to do it tonight. If I can spell right. So, I want to know what your top tips are for Walt Disney World, especially if you're a first timer. So, if you have anything, would love to hear those from you. What are your first timer top tips to Walt Disney World? And here we go. What are your first? Oh, hey, look, there's like an extra period in there. This is like awesome, right? Just live stuff going on tonight. We're losing viewers by the second here. So, what are your first timer top tips for Walt Disney World? We've already gotten, like I said, several that I'm going to share here in just a little bit. But before we dive into those, I want to share with you some travel news. This is the first big one right here, and want to make sure that you are Real ID ready. What does that mean? Well, starting Saturday, or excuse me, not Saturday, but starting May the 7th, 2025. So literally, as of today, less than a month away, want to make sure that you're prepared for this. Any traveler that I believe is 18 years of age or older will be required to have a government ID to fly with. If you're curious what qualifies for that, passports, certainly, global entry cards, state driver's licenses, passport cards, are many of the ones that will suffice for that, but it has to have that little star mark on it, that little Real ID mark on yours. So make sure, not just any state driver's license, it has to be a certified Real ID, or in the case of the state of Alabama, a star ID. So make sure you go you can search on the State Department, you can get Homeland Security. You can Google this stuff. There's all sorts of great information out there. You can ask your local airport and airline officials, your travel agent. Hopefully, it's a Travelmation travel agent, to make sure that you are prepared and ready for this when it rolls out. This is for domestic travel, so any domestic travel will be requiring this ID as of May the 7th. So be aware of that. The next thing is this: free dining. Yes, I don't have a graphic for it because you know what? It kind of advertises itself. Free dining at Walt Disney World is back. There are a couple of different offers that are out right now. One is for Disney Visa card holders. The other is for anybody within the allotted rooms that Disney has set aside. The dates are, I'm going to read them off to you, and this is for any stay that is 4 nights or longer with a 4-night park hopper ticket package. All has to be bundled together, hotel tickets, and the dining comes along with it. The dates are within June 29th to September 30th, October 20th to November 1st, and then December 6th to December 22nd. So just notice that Thanksgiving is out the first part of October, which I know for a lot of schools in our area. Anyway, that's fall break. Some have fall break a little bit later. Some have, don't start school till after Labor Day. So you guys are covered. If you want to do a mid to late summer trip to Walt Disney World, it's a perfect time to do that. A lot of people are concerned about the heat. Let me tell you right now, the Walt Disney World hotels, especially a lot of the indoor attractions, have some fantastic air conditioning. And there's some great ways to stay cool. I've done an episode a couple of times on beating the heat at Walt Disney World, and it's just a great topic to talk about. And we may have to circle back around to do that and do one of those again, just as a refresher for everybody. But definitely think about a travel, booking that free dining promotion. Essentially, the way it works, again, you book your hotel and tickets, minimum 4 nights, minimum 4-day park hopper tickets to a Walt Disney World resort during those dates that I mentioned. And you get, if you're at a value or moderate resort, you'll get a free Disney quick service dining plan with the option to upgrade to the regular dining plan, the Disney dining plan. Almost said deluxe, but there hasn't been a deluxe dining plan in a while. But anyway, so, and then if you are at a deluxe property or deluxe villa, you will have the opportunity to have the free regular Disney dining plan. So if you want to know what those things include, would love to be able to walk through that with you. That's one of the things that's a great tip for first timers, is letting you know that there are dining plans available and that they are only available, be very clear on this, that they're only available for on-property guests at Walt Disney World Resort hotels. So you have to be at a Walt Disney World Resort owned hotel in order to qualify for the dining plans. That's one of the perks of staying there. So be aware of that. And again, just want to remind you guys, check out that video about Barefoot K at Sandals Royal Bahamian that I posted recently. So again, let's go back to the question of the day here. What are your first-timer top tips for Walt Disney World? What are your first-timer top tips for Walt Disney World? We will come back to those here in just a little bit, but I have kind of my top 8. You know, David Letterman did a top 10. I've done a top 7. I've got my top 8 here now. Some of you have posted versions of these on the old Facebook feed question of the day that I put up about an hour and a half ago. And appreciate your comments. But the first one is this, and this is one that I often see pretty much everywhere. When, like, if I'm ever talking to people or I'm trying to come up with a list, I'm seeing what other people are saying, that kind of thing. Make sure you install the official app, the official Walt Disney World app, the My Disney Experience app on your phone. So on your smartphone, I've got mine right here. I'm going to show you guys what the logo. So it looks like that when it loads up. It is a great app to act as a tool to help you plan your trip. And it says hello. Even says hello, William. Can't see it because the screen's so bright, but it's a great tool to kind of familiarize yourself with the Walt Disney World Resort if you've never been there. Dining options, attraction options, show times, a lot of different things. If you choose to use it this way when you're on property, it can act as your room key. It can act as your park ticket as well if you have those loaded and linked. There's a lot of great things that you can do with it. And as a travel advisor, one of the things that I can do, that we can do, as travel advisors, is help make sure that you are prepared to take advantage of the app. It can be kind of quirky at times, and that's also one of the things when you're in the parks. Check to make sure that there are updates. See if there are any updates in your app store for it, and make sure the app is up to date, so it is running as best as possible. So keep an ear out for that one. The next thing is this, number 2, plan your dining in advance. Plan your dining in advance. We don't want to have you show up at Walt Disney World for the first time expecting to dine in the castle and have breakfast with Pooh and friends and go to outer space to have a meal and those sorts of things, which all of you can do at Walt Disney World. And there not be any availability. So sometimes there's walk-up availability for restaurants, especially inside the parks. Sometimes some more than others, but there are some that are way more popular that you want to make sure that you're prepared for. So make sure that you're set up with your dining reservations in advance, well before your arrival, to make sure that you are able to have the time that you are looking for. And there are some great tools that we have access to as travel advisors and others to make sure that we get you the dining reservations that you want. Key point here that I want to point out is this: especially if you're traveling with a larger party, make sure that you give yourself a little bit of flexibility with those dining times and groups, and that will increase the likelihood that you are able to get the locations that you so desire. For your first trip, this is tip number 3. For your first trip, stay on property if possible. I know there's a lot of conversations about maybe staying close to property outside the West Gate, or even at a Disney Springs area hotel, which there are some great options there. Some that even have Disney park benefits but don't necessarily have all the benefits of staying at a Disney owned hotel, or even Airbnbs or some of the other resort areas in and around the Orlando area. Even people that want to stay at Universal and do a split stay. But what what I would suggest is, if you were going to Disney for the first time, make sure you set ample time. If you're going to be in Florida, you're going to I want to do the parks in Orlando area, and give yourself enough time to do Disney. There's a lot of stuff to do there, a lot to see, a lot to soak in, and you may find yourself spending more time in some areas and less time in other areas, and wanting to go back and revisit certain experiences along your stay. So make sure you give yourself ample time while you are there. To all my West Coast friends, if you are a Disneylander and you love Disneyland, you love Disney California Adventure, you love Downtown Disney, which it's still called in California, make sure you give yourself enough time at Walt Disney World if you're coming for the first time. I'm sure you've seen YouTube videos, but Walt Disney World is massive. Give yourself enough time. Give yourself some flexibility to soak it all in and do all the things. More than you would have if you were going to one of the West Coast parks. There are a lot of great perks to staying on property, like direct access to the Walt Disney World transportation system. If you're on the Skyliner route, Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort, Riviera Resort, Pop Century, Art of Animation, like any of those, you'll have access to the Skyliner, the monorail resorts, Disney's Grand Floridian Resort, Polynesian Village Resort, or the Contemporary. Those three have access to the monorail. Also, Disney's Yacht and Beach Club are very close to the International Gateway monorail station. And then all of the Disney resort hotels and Disney Springs have access to the bus system. So there are a lot of different options. There's also some boat transfers as well. Some of them are currently down for refurbishment. Some of them are still running right now. But there's a lot of great options. So all that to say is, check with your travel advisor. Make sure that you're staying in the place that has the best fit for you. I have some clients that have younger kids. They want to make sure, this is one of my other points. I'm going to kind of go off script here. Point number 5, I'm skipping 4 and going straight to 5. But don't be afraid to take a nap. Don't be afraid to take a nap. Go, especially if you have young kids, or like myself, if you love a good afternoon nap. Sometimes it's hard to do that in the parks unless you know where to go. Shout out to the People Mover, or hello, it's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow over in Tomorrowland. There's some great spots to kind of catch some Z's for a little bit, and some good ACs, or even the Hall of Presidents. Magic Kingdom is a great, there's a lot of great nap spots at Magic Kingdom. Maybe that should be an episode. But all that to say is, especially if you have your kids, or you have folks that just want to re-energize, or you want to be there at rope drop right when the park opens, and you want to be back at night for fireworks, going back for a nap in the middle of the day, even if it's a little off routine, is not necessarily a bad idea, which can also honestly be another perk of staying on property, being able to get back to your hotel without having to, hunt around to the parking lot in the rain, in that middle of the afternoon rain in Central Florida, which that does happen about March, I would say through October, November-ish. Sometimes you get that 3 o'clock shower that's kind of persistent. But where you stay can help with that too. So don't be afraid to catch some Z's and re-energize yourself for the rest of your day. Number 4, specifically, was hire a travel professional who specializes in Disney destinations. So I realize I'm biased, right? So I'm kind of like, okay, I'm self-promoting here for a little bit, but seriously, you don't pay anything extra for it. A lot of people don't realize that when you book direct with Disney destinations, or even if you book it online through a place like Expedia, or other online travel agencies, booking.com or whatever, you are paying for personal travel advice, for the ability to connect with a travel advisor. Now, Travelmation is a diamond earmarked Affinity Disney Destination Agency. And basically what that means is that we have achieved a certain level of status with Disney destinations to be able to offer our clients the best advice that we can and best support that we can along the way. And we want to make sure that you are prepared for that, and that we can offer you that. And we don't want to see you booking it in a place where you're essentially paying for something that you're not getting, and making sure that you have that personal support. Now, say you're a planner and you love to plan. Heck, this is why I got into this in the first place, right? Because I love to plan. You can still do all the planning, but have that expert, have that person that's been on the ground. Maybe they're an annual pass holder. Maybe they're a former Walt Disney World cast member like myself. Maybe they, live in the Orlando area or travel there frequently, and they have their feet on the ground and they get it. So we want to be able to offer our personal experience to you, again, at no additional charge, to make sure that you are taken care of and you have the best experience possible. Many times when you work with an authorized, when you work with let me back up to make sure I have this wording right, hashtag Disney copyright, to make sure that you are prepared as best as possible, and you work with a travel advisor that is part of an authorized Disney vacation planner, which like Travelmation is. We want to make sure that you're connected with those people to maximize your experience overall. So that is that. So number 5 was don't be afraid to take a nap. Number 6, do something not on your list. Disney will almost, going to Walt Disney World will almost force you to plan. If you don't, some people like to go in there and wing it. Like if you've been to Walt Disney World before, great, go at it. But if you're going on a solo trip and you're going for the first time, okay, or maybe even a couple on a trip for a few days, maybe okay, wing it, go have fun. But if you're traveling with a group, if you're traveling with a family with children that have their own set of expectations, make sure you plan. Take advantage of that app that I talked about, but don't overdo it. Do something not on your list. I'm not talking about intentionally leaving something off and then surprise everybody, we're doing this. Maybe if you want to do that, if that's something you want to do intentionally, go for it. But really what I'm saying is keep your eyes open for something new at Walt Disney World, whether it's in a resort, whether a resort hotel, whether it's in a park, whether it's Disney Springs, maybe it's on transportation. I don't know. Do something new. And maybe it's not for you. Maybe it's, bringing little gifts or a token of appreciation to encourage cast members. Maybe it's eating somewhere that you haven't eaten before, or going on an attraction that you haven't been on before, or buying something for someone that you haven't bought something for. I don't know. So just do something different. Look for those moments in the margins that you can't always plan for and go for it. Do something that's not on your list. And who knows, that may be the highlight of your trip. It could be. And then next, number 7 is kind of my secret sauce to vacation planning that I share somewhat regularly. That is plan well, but be flexible. Have that plan, kind of like I was saying a moment ago, but don't be so inflexible to the point where you're not open for other opportunities, or you're not flexible enough when things go sideways. Just on the feed a little while ago, a fellow travel advisor was sharing how they're at Walt Disney World right now, and their annual pass holders. This is going to be the last time that they're going to be able to be there for a while, and one of their kids is sick. Like, what do you do when somebody gets sick? What do you do when somebody gets hurt or the unexpected happens? So you want to make sure that you are prepped and ready to go when that happens. Again, sometimes it's just going into it with a degree of flexibility. Walt Disney World is a fantastic place to make some memories, but sometimes things don't go as expected, and that's okay. We take it in stride. And just remember that you're there to make memories with those that matter most. And when those that matter most to you are sick, when they're down and they just need a little bit of time to recover, they're going to be disappointed. You're going to be disappointed. That's okay. That's okay. What better place to be than, say Walt Disney World? I mean, you can make your own set of memories in your own unique way. And hopefully you'll be able to go back and hit reset and make some new memories when everybody's up and at it. Then number 8 is this, and then I'm going to get to our questions. And again, if you're just now hopping on the stream here, this is our question of the day. What are your first-time or top tips for Walt Disney World? We'd love for you to drop those in the comments. I'm going to pop over to the comments here in just a second. My last one is this: stop and take it all in. Just stop, look around you. Do this 2-3 times during your trip, right when you get there, right when you go through the touch points or turnstiles, whatever kids are calling them these days. Walk through and just look around. Notice the sights, notice the smells, notice, things at your feet, notice the people around you that you're there to create those memories with. Some people may want to make a charge to that, first attraction of the day, or that first, coffee stop right there on Main Street in Magic Kingdom, or at the Trolley Car Cafe in Disney's Hollywood Studios, or wherever you may be, to get that caffeine charge, right? But sometimes it's important to stop and just remember why you're there in the first place. Walt Disney World is a fantastic place to make memories. I will say this over and over and over again. It really is. It is not just for kids. If I hear one more person say, "Oh, well, Disney's for kids," no. No, hashtag Trader Sam's people, you know where you're at, right? So there are still a lot of things to do for grown-ups. There are a lot of things for families. There are activities and things that everyone can do together where they will all get something out of it. Sometimes taking your kids means not necessarily making memories for yourself, but living the vacation through your kids' eyes. Which is a completely eye-opening experience, I think, is just sort of going at their pace, right? We don't want to push so much that we miss out on the opportunity to create some amazing memories along the way. Stop, take it all in, and don't move too quickly. So, what are your first-timer top tips to Walt Disney World? I'm going to go back over here and take a look at what we've got. So, Terry says, hire a travel professional that specializes in Disney. Thanks, Terry. This is very important. Amanda says, do not try to do everything. Don't try to do everything at Walt Disney World. You will get yourself in trouble. You will end up overdoing it. You'll overexert yourself, and you will not be able to have the time that you were really hoping to have at the end of the day. Nicholas says, give yourself a rest day. Make sure you rest. Maybe it's not taking a nap. Maybe it's just sitting for a bit, having an afternoon snack in the shade, going by Nomad Lounge at Animal Kingdom and enjoying some of their amazing churros that they have. Oh my goodness, they're so good. They've also got some great beverages and drinks there as well. Again, look for those little moments, like Brittany says. Those little moments that happen that you can't plan for, those are the magical moments. And I'm not talking about when cast members sprinkle pixie dust on occasion, because that does happen also. But look for those little moments. Don't be in such a rush that you miss out on those. Bob also chimed into the comments as well and talked about how there's a lot to do, and that he and his family always make a wish list, which is a great tip. Like, I love this, making a wish list of things that you want to do. So even as first timers, if you've never been there, with the dawn of social media and the podcast world, live video streaming and all those things, even shows like this, there's all sorts of places to get advice. There are all sorts you can Google, top Disney travel tips or something like that and get all sorts of answers. Go to ChatGPT, you'll get all sorts of answers. But be careful though, because some of that information out there is out of date. This is another reason why you want to hire a travel advisor or work with one. You're not really hiring one because you're already paying for it. Even when I asked ChatGPT earlier, just to see, like, I didn't use it to structure my point-by-point list here. I was like, I was just curious. It started talking about Genie Plus. Genie Plus is not a thing at Walt Disney World anymore. That verbiage was retired several months ago. So just be aware that not every single piece of advice as advertised is still accurate that is out there based on things that change. One of the things that is also an advantage to working with an advisor is that typically they stay pretty connected with all the latest, greatest goings on. They don't necessarily trust third-hand information. Usually I will not promote things unless it has come straight from the horse's mouth, straight from Disney, and making sure that people are educated properly. But going back to Bob's list, I really like this, Bob. If you're watching this, this is great. Three categories: absolute must do, want to do, and then if you can do, great. So if you can do, great. So again, he splits it up into absolute must do, want to do, and if we can do, great. I kind of expanding on this a little bit. I think this is a great idea to do it this way, especially if you have older children, or maybe even some that are, I would say, probably maybe 7, 8 years old and older, especially teenagers. Do this with them. Like, invite them into the vacation planning part of it. If you're a crazy Disney adult like me, don't be afraid to invite your kids into it, because again, they're going to have their own set of expectations, and you guys may not always be on the same level of what you want to do. So giving everyone the opportunity to give input would be, I think, a fantastic idea, and having those open conversations in the vacation planning stage. So a lot of great things to pull from, a lot of great opportunities to make some new memories along the way. And I want to make sure that you guys and gals out there are prepared to do that. Again, I want to make sure, let's see, where is it? Oh, there it is. So this is my information here. I am a travel agent with Travelmation. I've been a top producer with them for 4 years, and have completed their certifications in accessible travel, luxury groups, and destination weddings, and would love the opportunity to reach out to you guys and have a conversation about planning a Disney destinations vacation. You know, I have a special love for Walt Disney World, having worked there and traveled there recently, well, back in January at least, and hopefully we'll be going there not too long from now. But thank you guys so much for joining me on another fun episode of Travel Tips Tuesday. Again, hopefully we'll see you next week. We got a special guest coming, so make sure you tune in next week on April 15th. See you later. Bye-bye. Wow.